After 15 years of teaching in mainstream schools in the UK, I've quit. In this video, I'm going to tell you why. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Aaron. As a professional musician, I have toured and recorded with world-class artists to audiences of thousands, and also played gigs where there were more band members on stage than people in the audience, including the bar staff. I've also spent 15 years as a music teacher in secondary schools in London, including 8 years as director of music in a school that helped develop major award-winning talent. This channel is designed to combine my two passions, music and education. I am putting all I know out on YouTube to serve as many people as possible. Whether you're a beginner or a gigging musician, I'll be sharing practical lessons on performing, composing, music tech, and how to make a living doing what you love, plus interviews with industry pros to give you real-world insights. If this sounds like something you're into, help support this channel by hitting subscribe and let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next. So it's true, I've quit mainstream teaching, but I haven't left teaching altogether. If you had asked me what I wanted to do when I was a 5-year-old boy, I would have told you, musician. Although I may have phrased it as rock star at the time. But from the youngest age I can remember, running around my primary school playground doing concerts, to performing in our Year 6 assembly with our band Furies from Hell, doing Wild Thing. In secondary school, music the whole time. That was my only focus in life, and thank goodness, because I don't know how else I would have made it through school. But I knew where my path was heading, and in sixth form I did A-level music. I went to music college, and then I became a professional musician. So during my 20s, I worked as a session musician, playing for lots of bands around London, getting to play in amazing venues around the UK, and to huge crowds, small crowds, and everything in between. I also had my own band. Now, this is going to date me a little bit, but we're going back to when MySpace was where people put their music. Facebook and YouTube were in their infancy. People weren't really sure about how they were going to use it. It was Facebook was for connecting with friends. There was no putting your music out. There was no pages, any of that sort of thing. And YouTube, people didn't really know what it was going to be at that time. So it was the old school method. It was network, meet up with folk, build, gig, get your name out there, get your reputation out there. And I did that for a long time. And after about 7 or 8 years, I just found that I kind of sucked the love out of it. And I just didn't feel that adrenaline when I went to the stage. When I was on stage, it felt very pedestrian. I just wasn't really giving it my all. So it was about that time when I moved to America for a few months, and during my time out there, I had a lot of time to reflect and just get off the treadmill, and I found myself exhausted mentally, physically and emotionally, and I decided that I wasn't going to come back to the UK and pursue music in the same way that I had been. It also coincided with a friend that was in that band actually kicking me out of my own band when I was there, and that was the final straw for me. There's lots of rejections in music when you're auditioning for bands, when you're going for opportunities. But actually having that close was kind of the last straw really for me, and I gave up. When I came back to the UK, I got a teaching job in an amazing school in North London, and I was there for 4 years with the most incredible team. And it was a really, really vibrant music department. And I saw an opportunity come up to be director of music at a school further in North London called Enfield Grammar School. And this school's now become very famous for the Ezra Collective as some of their alumni. But there's others that have come out there, loads of award-winning acts and loads of musicians that now populate the London music scene. So it was a really, really fertile and rich environment, and all the teachers were professionals. So I had been a professional before, I was still doing gigs and active, and there were other teachers, but everybody were practitioners. And that just gave a real vibe to the department. We had the most amazing secretary that held the whole thing together for the bands and the ensembles, and I had the privilege of leading that department for 8 years. During that time, lots changed. So one of my second in department, he left to take a head of music job elsewhere, and it was very, very hard to replace him, and recruitment at that time was very difficult. The secretary decided she was going to retire, and I knew she wouldn't be replaced, and so I thought it was time for me to leave as well and hand over the reins to somebody new. I moved to another school, which was a fantastic opportunity. It was a brand new school. It was a chance to build everything from the ground up, and I started on that journey, and my wife and I decided that we were going to move our family out of London and move down to Hampshire and on the south coast of England. So I left that school, and then I started at another school down here, and I just found my energy was not where it needed to be and my passion was not where it needed to be. Teaching is a demanding job and it's an important job, and if you're not giving it everything you've got, then I don't think you should be there, and you've got to look for other opportunities. I've always said I love teaching, but the education system just wasn't fit for purpose, and so I've now left teaching in mainstream schools, and I'm working for an inclusion unit, which is working with students that can't get education in school for one reason or another. So I'm still teaching, and it is one of my passions, and that's kind of my story up to where I am now. And I became the guy that was talking about things that I used to do, things that I had done, and living on past successes and using those as trophies. And actually I found myself sounding like the old git in the corner that was talking about, oh, when I were a lad. And actually I want to be doing that again. I want to be enjoying music, but I want to do it with the kind of lessons that I've learned now. So since leaving mainstream schools, I've had a lot of time to think about what the next step is. So even with a lifetime of musical experience and 15 years of teaching in mainstream schools, there's a massive gap in my knowledge too. And that is how the business side of music works in the current environment. When I was a musician, it was a very, very different picture to how it is now. And there are lots of people I know that are active in the music industry and making a good living off of it. And they've gone through the pitfalls, they've jumped the hurdles, they've figured out how to make a living in this industry. And so I'm going to go to them and find out their lessons on how we can improve. And that would be social media, that would be business, that would be how you structure contracts, how you can make multiple streams of income, and things that I don't even know yet. But I'm going to bring that to you in these videos. I'll be detailing the side of things that I know about, which is the kind of musician side of it, the songwriting, harmony, melody writing, production, performing, how to set up backing tracks, how to set up lighting rigs, that sort of thing, and the things that I've been bringing to students for many, many years. If there's anything you want to know that I've not covered, please drop a comment below and just let me know what it is that you'd like me to cover, and I'll see if that's something popular and we'll take that forward. So if you're open-minded to coming on this journey with me, improving ourselves as musicians and building our craft, then there's one favour I have to ask of you. Please hit like, subscribe and share this video with as many people as you can. It would really help the channel grow and help me bring my message to wider audiences. So thank you for your time so far, and I'll see you on the next video.